Winston Churchill didn't just win wars, he destroyed his opponents with words. He was a master of psychology, armed with the sharpest wit in history. Today on Only Quotes, we're diving into his most savage comebacks, profound truths, and unfiltered thoughts on human nature. Let's dive in. A lie gets halfway around the world before the truth has a chance to get its pants on. Diplomacy is the art of telling people to go to hell in such a way that they ask for directions. I am fond of pigs. Dogs look up to us. Cats look down on us. Pigs treat us as equals. The best argument against democracy is a 5-minute conversation with the average voter. We are all worms, but I do believe that I am a glowworm. He is a modest man who has much to be modest about. I always like to learn, but I don't always like to be taught. Whenever I feel the need to take some exercise, I lie down until the feeling goes away. Men occasionally stumble over the truth, but most of them pick themselves up and hurry off as if nothing had happened. A fanatic is one who can't change his mind and won't change the subject. If two people agree on everything, one of them is unnecessary. When the eagles are silent, the parrots begin to jabber. Some men change their party for the sake of their principles, others, their principles for the sake of their party. There is nothing government can give you that it hasn't taken from you in the first place. After a time, civil servants tend to become no longer servants and no longer civil. Never hold discussions with the monkey when the organ grinder is in the room. I'd rather argue against 100 idiots than have one agree with me. They say that nobody is perfect. Then they tell you practice makes perfect. I wish they'd make up their minds. There is no such thing as public opinion. There is only published opinion. This report, by its very length, defends itself against the risk of being read. Don't interrupt me while I'm interrupting. Ending a sentence with a preposition is something up with which I will not put. I am sorry to have made such a long speech, but I did not have time to write a shorter one. It is a good thing for an uneducated man to read books of quotations. He has all the virtues I dislike and none of the vices I admire. I began my education at a very early age. In fact, right after I left college. I may be drunk, miss, but in the morning I will be sober and you will still be ugly. A good speech should be like a woman's skirt, long enough to cover the subject and short enough to create interest. My most brilliant achievement was my ability to be able to persuade my wife to marry me. Where does the family start? It starts with a young man falling in love with a girl no superior alternative has yet been found. I married and lived happily ever after. It is my wife who has made my life. I could not have done what I have done without her. There is no doubt that it is around the family and the home that all the greatest virtues are created, strengthened, and maintained. Healthy citizens are the greatest asset any country can have. We shape our buildings, thereafter they shape us. Youth is for freedom and reform, maturity for judicious compromise, and old age for stability and repose. To each his own. As for me, give me champagne. The gin and tonic has saved more Englishmen's lives and minds than all the doctors in the empire. I have taken more out of alcohol than alcohol has taken out of me. You have enemies. Good. That means you stood up for something, sometime in your life. You will never reach your destination if you stop and throw stones at every dog that barks. Never engage in a battle of wits with an unarmed man. In wartime, truth is so precious that she should always be attended by a bodyguard of lies. If you're not a liberal at 20, you have no heart. If you're not a conservative at 40, you have no brain. To be really happy and really safe, one ought to have at least 2 or 3 hobbies, and they must all be real. My tastes are simple. I am easily satisfied with the best. I am prepared to meet my maker. Whether my maker is prepared for the great ordeal of meeting me is another matter. A politician needs the ability to foretell what is going to happen and to have the ability afterwards to explain why it didn't happen. We contend that for a nation to try to tax itself into prosperity is like a man standing in a bucket and trying to lift himself up by the handle. It has been said that democracy is the worst form of government except all the others that have been tried. If you destroy a free market, you create a black market. In war, it does not matter who is right, but who is left. A love of tradition has never weakened a nation. Indeed, it has strengthened nations in their hour of peril. To improve is to change. To be perfect is to change often. This is the lesson. Never give in. Never give in. Never, 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 never in nothing. Great or small, large or petty, never give in except to convictions of honor and good sense.